Hello, good evening everybody, and welcome to round number 2 of the North American Grand Prix Monday Night Open Wheel Championship in the Lotus 98T, coming to you live from Jerez in Spain, and shaping up to be a doozy here tonight, and can't wait to bring you all the action. But before we get any further, let me welcome my partner in the broadcast booth, Brad Maris. Brad, welcome.
Hi, Al. Yeah, my boost pressure's up for this one. I tell you that right now. Tough, tricky track around this place with these Lotus 98Ts. A lot of bumps out there coming around some of these corners. Going to have to be on boost in some of the acceleration zones, making that pretty tricky. Yeah, good track, fun track, technical track. I really love this one, Al.
Yeah, it is a technical track, very, it kind of, obviously you want to use all the tracks, so you're going to see a lot of guys running wide out, using all the curving around this place, but it can bite you here. If you run a little too wide, you take it off track, and these cars don't play too well once you go a little too off into the gravel or into the grass, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys make their way around the battle. It's worth a practice here for tonight. And I'd say most of the guys here are ready. This is the 1994 version of this layout. 4.42 kilometers, 13 corners. And this version using the Senna chicane, Matt Taylor's going through right now. I don't believe the bikes run the chicane. I think it's the F1 cars right up at. I'm sure someone on the broadcast will correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, not much doubt about that. And that Senna chicane actually is pretty good if you get it right. If you don't get it right, then it's really horrible. So we'll see Matt Taylor. I assume they're going to follow him around on his lap here. So we'll be coming up to it here in another minute. Yeah, so as mentioned, you got to be pretty brave around here. You have to trust the car rather, and there are sections that are pretty bumpy, like coming through this right-hander here, for instance. It's kind of a slow entry into there. You have to get the car set up so you can get on the gas early. But there's a bump coming through the middle of there, which can upset the car, especially if you're just coming up on that boost. We make things tricky. Very slow second gear corner there, as you can see. And the little flat-out section here coming up to this next left-hander, very high-speed section. Once again, got to get the front settled to a bite point where you can really mash the throttle. And then here we come up to that chicane complex we were talking about. Descending radius corner there, and coming up the chicane. If you get this right, it's buttery smooth and a lot of fun. If you get it wrong, clip too much of the curbing, it just upset the car. It throws it all over the place. You don't know where you're going to end up at. But whoa! Okay, whoa, that was supposed to be full throttle exercise through there, and then some late braking. Another kind of descending radius braking zone here. Very difficult to pick up and get it right there. But yeah, Matt Taylor, with the exception of that mistake, pretty good looking lap out.
Yeah, looking pretty sharp there. Set provisional pole time of a 26.2. Mix up there between Moses and Kirkbride, but Moses slots into second. Third. Kirkbride currently in second, half a second off of the provisional pole time set by Taylor. Andrew Adamson out on track. He is quick through the first sector. Pole sitter last week, and looking pretty quick here again this week, Brad. Both these guys, Kevin Kirkbride and Adamson.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to mention. He and his teammate, once again, leading the way in that official practice session time. So we'll see if that translates this time to some end race results. Didn't work out for him so great last week, but we'll get to that. In the meantime, yeah, both of them looking sharp.
So Adamson now on a flyer. Looks like he is behind 2/10 in the first sector. Mind, Taylor carrying 10 kilograms of ballast after last week's race at Interlagos, where he finished in third.
Yeah, and we know
none of that. Still 2/10 off. Go ahead, Brad. Sorry.
We know that any added weight to these cars is really going to make it.
Oh,
as Adamson loses
big
the
hit.
same spot.
Yeah, same exact spot as Taylor.
It's a tricky corner. It's not terribly difficult unless you get the entry or just a little bit wrong, because it is a full speed corner, so full lap. These guys running some extra turbo, and I think that's what's throwing them off. They'll have to get used to running the extra power through them.
Canola brings it into the pits. Canola was looking quite racy here tonight, Brad. He is currently provisionally in third. That time set by Taylor was the fastest time we've seen so far. Canola was third quickest with a 27.9.
Yeah, well, he started, 12th or 13th last week, ended up 6th or 7th, so you got to, just based on percentage, relative finish, you have to think if he starts anywhere in the top 5, he should win this thing, right?
And a top 10 finish last week, Canola did, but he's capable of better things, so he finished around 7th or 8th, if I recall, but looking good here tonight, as we're on board with Greg Myers, currently in 5th.
Boy, Myers was looking pretty good in that practice session too. He had dipped into the sub 1 minute 30 mark, which was up among the leaders, Al. I actually did a double take and looked at his tires. I thought maybe he was setting up for a qualifying run there in that practice session, but he was on the softs, so that pace is legitimate by Gregor Myers.
Interesting, Parsons, Eiran Parsons on the softs, as you see Q next to the details of the guys' names down at the bottom of the screen. The Q is the qualifying tire. Parsons electing to, it just changed on the qualifying tire. This is the corner right here where these guys were having trouble, both Adamson and Taylor. But that time by Taylor was with that mistake, so.
Yeah, right.
Shows you how quick he's going.
Yeah.
So Greg Myers does improve.
Oh, okay.
That's his personal best, 31.7. John Houston currently officially in 4th on an outlap. Takes it to the gravel. Guys by Adamson now. He is green after the first sector. Let's jump on board with him. Bit of time there in the second sector, 4/10 off. You're right about this. Sorry, Breck. Just gonna say you're right about that chicane there. It's very, very tricky.
Yeah. Once again, if you get it right, if you don't try to take too much out of it, or carry too much speed, then you're fine, and it's actually pretty fun to get through there. But some mistakes will really cost you.
Adamson slots into 3rd with a 27.1, dropping Canola back in position. Last week's winner, Chris Moses, carrying 20 kilograms of ballast. He is currently in 7th and feeling the effects of that success ballast.
I think he is, and I wonder if he isn't feeling the effects of not getting quite as many laps. I think word on the street last night was that he had not gotten as many laps as he would have liked. I was actually going to mention they're coming through that first corner. We didn't talk about that. That first corner is extremely difficult. Another oddly descending kind of radius deal there. So he's going to be careful with that on the opening lap.
Yeah, it's a track that you see guys tend to overdrive a bit here.
Yeah, I would say it really does tend to kind of suck you into that, because you want to carry more momentum than you actually can do around a lot of these corners.
So Moses 1.3 seconds off to the second sector, so he is struggling. Meanwhile, Canola improves his time up to 4th. His teammate carrying 10 kilograms, clearly not feeling the effect as he's still... Kirkbride now. 1/1000th of a second off of Matt Taylor's time. He just clocked in with 26.281. And now Eiran Parsons with a nice lap with a 26.3. So Parsons, as Taylor now resets fast lap with a 25.6. Man, these laps are really starting to come down here.
Yeah, he obviously cleared up the mistake we saw from Matt Taylor earlier, and yeah, I would say a 25.6 is a pretty good time to shoot for the rest of these guys.
Followed now Peter Burke. Currently in 13th. Should be able to pick up some positions here. He's got a pretty decent lap going. As long as he gets his final sector right.
Yeah, last corner is in 3rd, kind of oddly, but...
he does pick up a few spots. To 11th. So your running order right now, it's Taylor, Kirkbride, and Parsons, your top 3. Kevin Lemansky currently in 9th. Let's jump on board with John Houston, who just put the timing board up in Sector 1. Ooh, big mistake, and that's going to kill that lap.
Boy, it sure is, and I wonder if these guys aren't... Well, I don't know. We saw his on the sauce, but I wonder if they aren't having a little bit of trouble with the qualification tire there toward the end of the lap also. I wonder if some of those, that's why some of those guys are going off in that one corner.
Kevin Miller currently slotted into 12th. Ooh, big oversteer correction into the wall for Miller. Not pretty. John Watson currently in 13th. Off. Ryan Robbins in the pits in 14th. Jack Ivey suffered a DNF last week on an outlap, but had a good race going at Interlagos, but got caught up with some lap traffic that ended his night. Had some contact with Brian Story near the exit of the pit lane. Jack just went off at the worst possible spot. He's completely wrecked his car.
Yeah, was, running, inside the top 10 anyway, 7th, 8th, something like that. I mean, he was up there.
Curtis Chandler currently in 16th. He takes a ride. There's Brian Story off track. Dale Ballweg running in 18th on an outlap. Meanwhile, Eiran Parsons. What just happened to Parsons? He was up. Spinning around the track. I'm not sure what the heck just happened to him. Somebody had contact.
I don't know.
Drago Canola on a flyer here. Not familiar with these cars. This is the 86 Formula 1 Lotus 98T. Turbocharged engine with adjustable turbo in the cockpit, so these guys can adjust the turbo as they drive. So a lot of oversteer there for Canola coming through the final corner.
He's going to pick up time though. Not
enough. Meanwhile, Adamson up in the first sector.
Boy, Canola lost a boatload of time there in the last sector.
Houston just 2/10 off in sector 2. Adamson remains up here. He's got Parsons just ahead of him on track. Parsons gets out of the way for Adamson.
Looking clean so far, then on the throttle, then lay it flat. Made it through, a little loose. Make that corner a little late.
Adamson to the line. Ooh, no. 3/10 off. Man, he lost a lot of time in that last sector. Meanwhile, Kirkbride, big slide. Big slide. He was looking pretty good, only a 10th off. Backs out of it. Canola still on a flyer here. He's 3/10 off in sector 2. Ooh, and he turns the rear of the car around. These guys are pushing it here to the limit. Very, very difficult car to drive. You're trying to find every ounce of speed and pick up time. You're going to see a lot of guys going off of these things. There's Taylor up in the first sector, looking to improve on his provisional pole time.
Yeah, and he continues to be ahead of his time. Looking at the times coming in, it's obvious Taylor's really laid the smackdown in the third sector, but right now through the second sector is still looking very strong as well. So this could potentially be able to. Yeah. Now don't bite off too much more. You already know that you can get through the last sector. Just do it like you did the last time, and.
Oh!
No, he didn't!
He didn't, no. They have it so easy to do in these things.
Yeah, and again, a lot of it are there's like bumps and undulations in the track, and when you're coming up on boost, I tell you, these things are evil.
Yeah, these guys will be running max boost in this session, so 100% turbo around here. The engine will survive during the race. They're going to have to, so it looks like Adamson on an outlap. But these guys are going to have to be a bit conservative with the use of the turbo, as it will cause a premature explosion to the engine. Here, Myers remains in the pits. Miller now has made it up to 9th. A lot of guys on outlaps presently. Kevin Lemansky in 10th. He's been there for a while. Jake Feemster. Jake's been in the pits for a bit as Parsons now up in the first sector. Let's jump on board with him.
Yeah, well, you have to figure that he has a better time in him. I mean, we saw through 2 sectors there. Parsons right there toward the top of the time. She didn't see what happened to him. There was that last sector, but he certainly got it in him.
Oh, he's still up. Kirkbride up 2/10 in sector 1, and he's up in sector 2.
Yeah, that's the way it is. If you are not advancing around this place, you're going backwards. So
it's a corner where everybody's struggling. Parsons gets through okay.
Yeah, also had one of the better entries and braking points into the final corner as well.
And Parsons to second. Kirkbride. Ooh, he lost time there in the final sector. Adamson up 4/10 in the first sector. Under 2/10 separating the top 3. Taylor up big, half a second in sector 1.
Holy cow, is there like rubber being put down or something?
Yeah, wow, it is pretty amazing. What Adamson can do here in the final sector. These guys are just hanging on.
Okay.
So Adamson to the stripe. Oh, he lost it all in the final sector. Wow. He doesn't, I don't think he improved on his time, Brad. Meanwhile, Taylor is up.
Yeah, okay, that was pretty clean. Taylor will definitely be making a better time here. Big move.
Oh, yes. Big improvement, 24.9. 7/10 better than Parsons in second. Parsons on an outlap. Just Just over 5 minutes to go in the session. Not much has changed further down in the running order. On a flyer, 3/10 off in the first sector. Big slide. Looks like he's going to back out of it. Yep, he's going to bring it back into the pit lane.
Boy, these guys fighting and clawing to get to that mid-25. Now they have to go, wait. I need another half second? What's going on?
Watch Tiago Canola losing time in that second sector, but still good enough for fifth presently.
Boy, such a different track than we had last week. Much more difficult. Not as easy to be consistent around this place. Much different challenge.
Canola backs out of it again. Parsons now 2/10 off in sector one. Looks like both Parsons and Kirkbride make mistakes and come back out of the pits.
Yeah, 4.5 minutes, so time is running out for these guys to get their best lap in. All those mistakes they've been making on those good laps, time to clean them up or just load it up on the trailer, I guess.
Yeah, Houston. I was going to say he was looking a little ugly through there and through that chicane. It was ugly. He pulls it off track. Man, what a story here. Chris Moses back in 8th, 3.3 seconds off provisional pole. Even with that ballast, it's quite a ways back.
Yeah, no question about it. And I think it really does come down a little bit to lack of preparation for this one. Look, it's hard to get as many laps as we'd all like, over the course of the week. That's what's going to happen. But the veteran experience, I'm sure, will pay dividends for Moses here during the race.
Looking down the grid, Monahan at 16th, Chandler, who we're looking at now, in 17th. And Story, 30 kilograms of penalty weight in 18th. Ballweg 19th. Tom Traskell back at 20th. Ren back at 21st. What's going on with Marty, Brad?
Yeah, it just has to be lack of practice. I mean, shoot, we haven't seen him around very much, have we? So he might have life stuff going on. He just can't get to the track as often as he'd like. But very strange. You're right.
Not much happening presently with about two minutes and change to go. Houston just improved his time. I believe that was Houston. Currently in 6th. These guys making their way out of the pit lane.
Well, it's really kind of Matt Taylor's fault here. I mean, he kind of took the air out of some of the balloons around here. He had a very close battle for lead, and then he just comes in and throws that 24 in the faces of all these guys. And I think they're coming up with having trouble responding to that time.
Let's see, Parsons on an outlap. Taylor is in the pits. He is parked and looks like he's done. Miller on an outlap. Moses exiting the pit lane just ahead of Kirkbride. Maybe on an outlap. Well, the guy's going slow right now, Brad. I'm not sure what's happening here, but
yeah, well, they're trying to go fast. Maybe that's part of the problem. They're trying to push too much, right? But I don't know what you do if you don't have the speed. What else you do except try to get the foot to the floor a little earlier.
Parsons now starting his lap. Let's see what he can do here. His last attempt here with under a minute to go in qualifying.
Yeah, well, if anybody has the know-how and ability, it's Eiran Parsons here. Possibly make a dent into that Taylor advantage. ahead of his time at the moment. Not have a great exit there.
Takes off in sector 1. Man, Taylor really crushed those first 2 sectors. Incredible.
Yeah, he had initially crushed the last sector, but then he decided to crush the other 2 as well. Parsons still ahead of his time, but obviously languishing behind that very stout Matt Taylor time. No, this is going to hurt.
Off in sector number 2.
I don't think this last sector is going to be very good.
Adamson trying to respond here. He's 3/10 off in sector 2. Whoa. Close call there.
Well, he has a real... Sorry, Al. He has a real chance to at least advance a position or 2 here.
Yeah, he could get up onto the front row here.
Well, not a great corner, but it could still be enough to get him a couple spots.
Ooh, there it is. Yep. Just edges out Parsons for second. Parsons got caught up with that car on his hot lap right there in the final sector. You gotta wonder what that could have done for him.
Yeah, could very well.
Secured his second, his front row start here. Let's see. Everybody in the pits. He's on a flyer. Qualifying session is over. Oh, there it is. Well, there you have it, Brett. Matt Taylor securing pole here with a pretty amazing lap. 24.9, 7/10 better than second place Andrew Adamson and third place Eiran Parsons. All with great laps, but boy, he's really got this track figured out tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say I'm a little surprised because we didn't see that kind of pace kind of in that official practice session. So it could very well be that Matt Taylor's setup actually just works very well for qualifying in the low fuel. Perhaps in the race he won't show that kind of pace. In fact, I kind of suspect there could be some of that going on, that the setup tended to work really well with the qualifying tires and the low fuel. But I suppose we'll see. And all the more impressive, I guess, Al, because he is carrying that 10 kilograms of ballast, that third place finish last week. So good job, Matt Taylor.
Yeah, let's not forget, although he didn't qualify on pole last week, he was leading much of that first stint, and leading by a good amount when he had some problems in the pits for both of his stops. So that was, he was looking good for a win there last week at Interlagos. But let's see, it could come tonight here as Taylor on provisional pole here and looking sharp. Looks like the guys are going to be running the softs here. He's talking to some guys in the pits, Brad, about this tire strategy and pit strategy. Softs looks like they can go half distance, which is 46 laps. Race 23 laps will go and take you halfway around here. But seen last week most of the guys, the top 5, I believe, were all on two-stop strategies.
Yeah, and that actually surprised me a little bit last week because I was expecting the one-stop strategy. So that's good because I had not heard those rumors about what kind of pit strategy these guys might be using. So yeah, we'll look for them to go halfway. And as always, I have to watch that tire wear, though, of course, toward the end of that first stint and the end of the race. Boy, you get these things wiggling around a little bit. They get away from you in a damn hurry.
Yeah, they certainly do. So, well, we got about 4.5 minutes here before we go green from Jerez. After one race. Let's take a look at the point standings real quick. Chris Moses leading with 25 after last week's win. Parsons second with 20. Matt Taylor third with 18. Adamson with 17 in fourth. And John Houston in fifth with 14. It was a big night for PMR. Matt Taylor and Chris Moses finishing first and third with they garnered 43 points last week total. Good night for T-Brock Dambam also after finishing second and I believe fifth. So they took home 34 points. Roddy Burns Racing, man, they qualified 1-2, shaping up for a big night. Only ended up with 22 points. That's Kevin Kirkbride and Adamson. They're in third. KT Racing, that's Tiago Canola and Kevin Lemansky. They're in fourth with 17. And Grand Valley GP, newly formed this season, Jack Ivey and Peter Burke with 12 points in fifth. So extremely early here in this early goings of the season. Still 12 race season, so long way to go. 11 races left to run, so certainly anything can happen up to this point going forward.
Yeah, this championship actually kind of resembles almost like an endurance GT type championship in some ways. The race, the distances have been increased a little bit due to the higher speed nature of the cars, but nonetheless, very interesting stuff. But that team leading PMR, of course, Chris Moses starting back there in 8th. But the guys that started 1 and 2 last week, Adamson and Kirkbride, 2nd and 4th here. So still looking pretty strong in those qualification periods. And I have to think they put a lot of work into their race strategy. They are not going to let what happened to them last week with those quote unquote poor finishes happen this week. And of course it was I believe it's Kirkbride that popped the motor there right at the end, right? So I'm sure that they'll get that figured out and be looking strong.
Yeah, Kirkbride ended up not seeing the the end of the race, the start-finish line. He was just several hundred yards, maybe 100 yards away from the line before his engine gave out. So tough night for them, but they'll well, for one of them at least. But they're in good position here tonight. They're looking good, and they're in 2nd and 4th starting tonight. So they're going to be a team to watch for sure. So, Brad, what do you say? Let's run down the starting order for tonight's race.
Let's do it.
All right. So, Matt Taylor, there he is, your provisional pole sitter. No, he is your pole sitter, not provisional. He is the man tonight with an extremely fast lap, 24.9. He's going to be starting on the front row alongside him. Oh, this thing's all screwed up. Alongside him is going to be Andrew Adamson, followed by Eiran Parsons in 3rd. I swear I've done this before. Kevin Kirkbride in 4th. Tiago Canola is going to start 5th.
John Houston is in 6th. Kevin Miller takes 7th. Chris Moses in 8th. Gregory Myers takes 9th. Kevin Lemansky in 10th.
Starting 11th is going to be Peter Burke. Jake Feemster is going to start 12th. Ryan Robbins 13th. John Watson 14th. Jack Ivey's going to start 15th.
Mike Monahan is in the 16th spot. Curtis Chandler is in 17th. Brian Story in 18th. Tom Traskell starts 19th. I'm missing the 20th place. Marty Wren is in 21st. Sam Rolfe in 22nd. Chuck Carter 23rd.
All right, the lights have come on. We're about to go green here from Jerez. We're away. Good start here from Matt Taylor, leading the field down into turn 1. So the guys got through there okay. Looks like Adamson might have had a little problem. Hung on to that 2nd place though. Ooh, Kirkbride takes it a little wide, but it's going to hang on to that spot. Houston, Canola, and Moses right behind him. Very good start so far from these guys, Brad. Oh, we got a couple cars off. That looks like Draskell and Monahan might have had it coming together. No, yep, Draskell.
Yeah. Or both are off track anyway.
Taylor starting to pull a gap here. He's already well ahead of Adamson in second. On board with Parsons as he tries to chase down Adamson. Remains the same, Brad. Top 5 looking good. Oh, Houston looks like he might have had a problem there. He's back in 8th. Looks like he's dropped a couple positions.
Yeah, didn't see what happened there to Houston. Look, the fact of the matter is that we are probably going to see some gaps open up in this race, and it's a really tough track in car combination. I think, you know, a lot of...
Go ahead.
I think a lot of this race is really going to come down to the drivers against the track, right? And so that's what they're going to have to focus on here after these opening laps.
The gap's closed up a little bit between Taylor and Adamson, now down to 1 second between those guys. So it looks like Taylor might have made a little bit of a mistake. Got a good battle here, brewing. Looks like someone, I thought I saw somebody go off. Parsons still remains glued to the back of Adamson here. Good stop for Kirkbride.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. Looks like it's going to be a retirement for Mike Monahan. Mike Monahan has actually got clouded by Marty Eiran there. It looks like Monahan pulled the chute early tonight. So unfortunate.
That's too bad for Mike. 2 DNFs, 2 straight DNFs for him. On board with John Houston here now, trying to chase down Kevin Miller, who is running in 7th. Taylor just set fast lap of the race, 29 and change, but Parsons just snatched it away from him. Oh, Houston nearly gets into the back of Kevin Miller.
Boy, I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. After the first couple laps, Chris Moses picking up a couple positions, advancing up to the 6th spot, and you have to feel pretty good if you're Moses after starting in 8th. But some of these gaps are opening quickly, and I think we're going to see more of that as the race goes on, Al. So it'll be a tough event for some of these pilots here tonight.
Oh, I agree. As we continue to watch this battle between Houston and Kevin Miller. Very close. Yeah, this is for that 7th spot. Houston is all over the back of Miller. This is good for Moses, giving Moses a chance to try and pull a gap on these guys.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think Houston does have speed on Miller. Look at that. I mean, Moses 6th place, already almost 10 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, but I tell you what, this Adamson is really doing a great job dealing with the pressure from Parsons and also not letting Taylor get too far away from him.
Yeah, I agree. He has not started to kind of get that deer in the headlights, start to overdrive or push too hard yet. He has really maintained nice composure.
That makes me wonder if Adamson, from what I've seen during the fun races and last week, he's on a 2-stopper for most of those races, and you gotta wonder if Taylor maybe opted for a 1-stop tonight, carrying more fuel, he might be a little slower.
Ah, yeah, okay. I can buy that out.
But just 1.5 seconds separating the top 3. Kirkbride just 3 seconds off the leader. And Canola already, he's losing a bit of time to the top 4. and really starting to pull away from Moses. So it might be a lonely night for Canola the way things are shaping up right now.
Well, you know, if anybody's on a one-stop strategy for sure, it's Canola. So he'll for sure have a little extra fuel on board. That's doing something with his times. But we also know he does tend to get stronger as these races go along. So we'll have to look for that. Moses now looks like he might be holding up a bit of a train here, 6th through 8th. And I got to think Houston has pace on both those guys in front of him.
Adamson and Kirkbride exchange fast laps, and look at Adamson all over the back of Matt Taylor.
Yeah, boy, if it is a two-stop versus a one-stop, Adamson, you know, has to have that in the back of his mind, so he knows that he's got to get past Taylor soon, if at all possible. Might be hitting that turbo early.
Yes. Let's see it. Ooh, having a look on the inside of Taylor. Ooh, we got somebody off stage left. That's Watson already about to go a lap down. Let's see, Brad. Shake the magic 8 ball. We'll often see the checkered flag tonight.
Well,
as he goes off.
Did he stay off the wall right there? I don't know. Well, I hope so.
I hope so too.
Wait, Magic 8 Ball. The future is undetermined, something like that, right?
There you go. Man, you're right about Moses holding up Miller and Houston.
Yeah.
The battle right now, this is for the lead. It's Kirkbride now coming into the picture here. He's picked up some time on the front runners. He was 3.5 seconds back of Taylor.
Yeah, and so so is this Taylor slowing down a little bit, making some mistakes of his own, or are these guys just picking up some pace on him? I don't know. Boy, I tell you, it is just so difficult to get these cars around this track on pace when you're by yourself. When you're fighting in traffic and for these positions, oh my God.
Oh, he has a look on the inside. It's going to be advantage Taylor. Now Parsons having a look on the inside of Adamson. Nothing there. That was a very risky move from Adamson, but good job by Taylor to see that coming. Parsons now may have a look at Adamson here coming down the straight.
Got a really good run off that last corner.
Ooh, Jack Ivey out. That's a shame.
Houston has
Taylor on the inside. I'm sorry, Parsons on the inside of Adamson. Can't get the pass made.
Oh.
What action here, Brad, to start this race.
Oh boy, and it's becoming pretty early in this event too. These guys all know that the slightest mistake ends their night early. So you kind of have to fight for the positions, but in some ways they would rather not. I'm sure too.
What our leader looking back at Adamson. Got a guy all the way off track.
You know, Paul is actually looking. You know, his times are looking pretty good anyway in that practice session. So, I'd say the future's looking pretty bright for old Dale. Lap traffic coming fast and furious now as Sam Rolfe is under fire.
Yeah, surprised to see that. started lap 8. We're already coming up on some lap traffic. Now Kirkbride sets fast lap of the race with a 28. Time's starting to drop.
Yeah, he's feeling it now. He's got all three of the leaders in front of him right there for the taking, right? So that gives that guy a bit extra motivation. Heck of a battle early.
Where Adams had tried for that overtake earlier, couldn't get it done. Not close enough this time around. Oh, Taylor takes it off. That could be ball game for Taylor in terms of a win here. Wow, we have a new leader. Andrew Adamson now leading this race with Parsons all over his tail. Unbelievable. Taylor rejoins in 4th, but tell you what, he's not far off of these guys.
Parsons really getting it wrong through the center chicane. They're going to allow Kirkbride a real opportunity here.
Locked and out.
Yeah, saw very little attrition last week, but again, this track is a completely different animal. Much more dangerous.
So look for the 2 stoppers to come in around lap 15 or 16 if they decide to that will be the window. Parsons now all over the back of Adamson, coming up on some lap traffic like you said. Sam Rolfe. Ooh, he's got some damage to the rear of that Lotus. That last corner they just went through, Parsons seems to be struggling a little bit through there compared to Adamson and Taylor, but Parsons really quick through, especially the final sector.
Right, you know, Al, just take a look at the times here. Actually, Canola's starting to pick up the times a little bit. He's not so far off of some of the leaders here. There, Canola in that 5th place.
So the Rowdy Burns Racing Team drivers running 1 and 3 at the moment, but Aaron Parsons looking to take over this lead. Looking now on the outside. Oh, I think Parsons engaged that turbo, and he's going to take over the lead of the race.
Wow. Wow, well, of all the scenarios that we could have had, this is one that I really did not expect. Is this kind of fight over this many laps to start the race for the top spot.
Ooh, now Kirkbride nearly gets into the back of his teammate. He had a look, thought about making the pass, but I think he thought better of it.
This is a big situation for these teams, running 2nd and 3rd, looking for a lot of redemption after last week. And, you know, I don't know if they know quite how they're planning on handling their team owners, right? Right now, it doesn't matter because it's Adamson looking for that lead on his own.
Oh, looks like Kirkbride made a little bit of a mistake there. Dropped a little bit of time. Taylor now starting to claw his way back into this fight. He's running in 4th now, just 3 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, I was wondering when he was going to. It took him, 2 or 3 laps to get settled down, but you're absolutely right. He is a big fan on Saul.
Well, taking a look further back, Moses still holding court here. Maintaining that 6th spot ahead of Miller and Houston.
Houston had fallen back from a mistake, but his better pace allowed him to catch back up to that 3-car train once again. Oh! Houston does make the move, but there was a little bit of contact between him and Miller, so Houston up to 7th.
Let's see what that does to Miller's performance if he loses any time to these guys. Miller looking to bounce back here, Brad. He's putting the pressure back on Houston.
Yeah, I actually couldn't really see exactly what happened. I thought for a moment Houston might have been letting him back by, but
this guy's coming up on some lap traffic.
But nonetheless, this is an important position for John Houston. You have to, I mean, I think he has better pace than Moses, and he certainly wants to. Whoa!
There's a moment there with the lap car. I believe that was Rolf. Houston, Aaron Parsons, his teammate.
That was actually a hell of a save. Ooh,
yeah.
Moses, big mistake. Gonna allow Houston a big run.
Yeah, that was a pretty amazing save by Houston.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh!
Houston nearly loses it on. Oh! Oh! We can't get it together here. Make some contact with the wall. Ouch! Yeah, that rear wing is deformed there. You can see it cockeyed.
Well, if he wasn't on a two-stop strategy before, this might be a good time to think about it.
Yep, that might be it. If you can make it around without making any major mistakes, it might be time to dive into the pits.
Boy, you can see Houston really becoming pretty frustrated, I think, kind of with this situation in this race, figuring that he did have better pace. I think he's, had some mistake put him back there, and just kind of becoming more and more frustrated as the race has gone on.
This guy's coming up on Marty Eiran and some more lap cars. I believe that's Trasco further up. Looking a little further back, Jake Feebster and Brian Story. Looks like Story's trying to make his way past here, but Jake's going to hang on to it. Jake, Thursday night broadcaster. Him along with Jack Ivy. Jake is got some damage to that thing. Chuck Carter now looking to make a move on Story, and I think he's got it done. Nice pass from Chuck. Chuck, Story looking to defend here. Advantage, Chuck Carter. And it looks like Adamson might have made a mistake. He's fallen back a little bit. Same with Taylor. Taylor now 3.6 seconds off.
Yeah, Kirkbride had actually, Adamson had made enough of a mistake for Kirkbride to have a look on the inside of 4, but could not quite pull it off. But he was definitely trying for that second spot, was Kirkbride over teammate Adamson.
These guys have, I was just going to say, Kirkbride and Addison, very similar pace. The pole last week at Interlagos separated 3 thousandths of a second between these two. And let's see, taking a look at the lap times here. Best lap for Adamson, 128.7, 28.4 for Kirkbride.
Yeah, and I was looking at those canola times there in fifth, who managed to hold pace somewhat with the leaders, but now it started to slip off a little bit. So, yeah, those front 4 really pulling away now.
He's faded, but tell you what, running all alone here. He's got 16 seconds between him and the leader, and another 14 seconds back to Moses. So, going to be a lonely night here for Canola. But looks like some lap traffic has narrowed that gap for Adamson to Parsons. Wow. Parsons finesses his way through there. We got a car going off tracks. Looks like that is Kurt Chandler. Wow, boatload of traffic here, Brad. This is tough for these guys. Chandler gets out of the way.
Majority of the guys doing really pretty good job, but the difference in closing speed, closing rates between the corners of these things is pretty massive. So,
big slide from Adamson. Yep.
But trust me, look, you have Taylor in 4th place. He is 3.5 seconds off of the lead. That's nothing, really. Because the smallest mistake here by any of the guys in front, and you pick up that time in just a heartbeat because of the difference in that speed. So.
Carter looks like he's given that spot back up to Story. And that, well, these guys, Feemster and Story, about to put a lap down here as Parsons quickly approaching.
Well, I have to say, I'm so impressed by the front runners and the kind of pace they've been able to hold. Look, you're going to make some mistakes out there, minor mistakes, but still, all have been running very close this entire time.
I just want to remind everybody, if just watching this for the first time, these guys not running any aids whatsoever, no traction control, nothing like that. So, no ABS. Parsons into the pits. Adamson follows suit.
Taylor
Kirkbride, big lurch there. Taylor, and he's going to two-stop at Kirkbride. He's staying out.
Wow. I did not see that coming, Al. I mean, shoot, you're the one that had prepped all of us here for that one-stop strategy.
Yeah, well, who knows what Kirkbride's doing here. He might come in next lap.
Yeah, very interesting. And now it looks like Canola Canola stuffed it into a wall.
Ouch. Where is he? Oh, he's going. Let's see, Adamson away. Taylor, slow stop. Well, he came in a few seconds actually behind. He was about 3 seconds. Oh, Adamson throws it off, coming out of the pits.
Wow. Houston.
Taylor gets past.
Houston got through.
Houston doesn't look like he's pitted yet, Brad. That rear fender, that rear wing is still all messed up. He pitted and
okay, right.
May not have let the damage. So it is Kirkbride now on his own here. Has yet to pit.
No, I think...
Here he comes on lap 16. So this is going to be interesting here to see where Kirkbride comes out in relation to Taylor and Adamson.
Interesting. So do we have any one-stopper?
Looks like Moses is still out on track. Watch Parsons now coming through the final sector. Kirkbride still in his pit. Parsons going through the final corner now. Kirkbride is away. Parsons going to make it pass. What about Taylor and Adamson? So Kirkbride hangs onto that spot. Oh, and Kirkbride throws it off. Wow. Does the same exact thing his teammate does. Taylor gets past, and his teammate gets past. Big mistake by both those guys.
Boy, I tell you, these... Well, they'll have another opportunity to get it right on their next stop and not make any mistakes, but there's a huge difference here with the fuel load coming out of the pits and the cold tires. Really, car is so different, like night and day.
So it looks like Houston has pitted on lap 16. He's got Peter Burke. Peter Burke did a one-stop last week, so he could be on the same strategy here tonight, currently in 6th. Behind him, yet again, Kevin Miller. Tiago Canola out Oh, that's too bad. Oh, Kevin Miller now looking on the inside of Houston. He's going to get the pass made. It's going to be nip and tuck. Houston's going to have the advantage coming out of this corner here for the left-hander. And yep, he's going to hang on to that spot.
Boy, that was an important spot for John Houston to grab. It was he and, of course, Miller, as you recall, that first stint. He had to fight so hard with.
Parsons, Taylor, Adamson came in on lap 15. Kirkbride, 16. So these guys are going to do a couple 15s. Kirkbride's going to do a couple 15s, lap stints, and Parsons and the other two have to squeeze in a 16-lap stint or somewhere.
Yeah, so next stop around lap 30 thereabouts.
So Kirkbride has gotten past his teammate Adamson, so he is now pulling away a little bit here from his teammate and trying to reel in Matt Taylor, who is running in second, 4 seconds behind here with Parsons. Down the order here, Chris Moses in 5th after that pit cycle. John Houston in 6th. He's pulled a gap on Kevin Miller. He's got a couple seconds on him. Kevin Miller in 7th. Kevin Lemansky currently in 8th. Gregory Myers running in 9th. Peter Burke looks like he has come into the pit, so he is running in 10th. Jake Feemster running in 11th. Marty Eiran a lap down in 12th. Chuck Carter running back there in 13th. Ryan Story running 14th, followed by Ryan Robbins, Tom Traskell, and Curtis Chandler. Kurt having some trouble here tonight. We've had a slew of retirements here, Brad.
Yeah, more than we'd like to see, but honestly, not completely unexpected given the nature of the track. But unfortunately, nonetheless, in particular, I'd say Mike Monahan ejected early, and John Canola, one of the most recent.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation for Canola. He had a good run going. Top 5 anyway. Nice battle here brewing between Greg Myers and Kevin Lemansky. Lemansky with a big moment. Let's see, that's going to allow Gregory Myers to get past for 8th. Let's see if Lemansky can respond to that.
Yeah, going to be pretty tough. I mean, you'd have to have better pace than Greg to get past him because he's not going to make a mistake, right?
So the story right now, Brad, is Taylor unable to do anything about Parsons. He's actually losing time to Parsons and losing time to Kirkbride, who is now all over the back.
Yeah, and we saw that in the after the first couple laps of Matt Taylor at the start of the race. He slipped back, but then he made the mistake and got past, and then he seemed to come back on pace again. So it does look like, for whatever reason, that setup goes away from him a little bit relative to the other guys early in the stints. And honestly, that does happen with these setups. And when the tires change and the fuel wears off, the nature of the setups change, and the cars drive differently. Ooh, Carter out, and he's out from the 8th position out. Or maybe it would just put him up there. In any event.
Well, the other scenario here, Brad, could be that Adamson is really leaning on the turbo here to try and make up this ground to Taylor, and he's done so.
Yeah, that's true too. And I don't think, look, this race is not over by any stretch, because even if you're out there all alone, like Aaron Parsons, kind of dictating things, any little thing can cause you to lose that 4.5 seconds quickly to a minor mistake or lap traffic, something like that. And let's not forget, we have more pit stops to run. We've seen some of these guys struggle with those pit stops a little bit. So this race not over by any stretch of the imagination.
I remember going through this corner here, GT1, having an incident with Kirkwood Sportelli.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I was right around there someplace. I think I saw the smoke in the mirrors or
good old Sporto in the 550.
Sportelli!
Yeah, we miss Sportelli.
Sure do.
So, story. This is it right now on track. Closest battle is Kirkbride. Now, all over the back of Matt Taylor, you see that indicator in red. That means they're close.
Yeah, I mean, you know, all things considered, really that time was about 4 seconds. Parsons, 2 second place Taylor. You know, he hasn't given up too much, but he certainly hasn't made any inroads into that. And Adamson there in 4th behind teammate Kirkbride. Well, he hasn't given it up anything either, so I think it's still anybody's ball game here. Boy, that Houston is rapidly closing up on Chris Moses for that 5th spot. But if you're Moses, once again, kind of like last week, I got to think you're got to be feeling pretty fortunate, really, to be in 5th place here.
What a great run from Miller. Didn't qualify all that well, but he is hanging on to the back of John Houston, only a couple seconds separated. But these two have been going at it all night.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I guess really when you look at it, it's these 3 guys we saw in that first stint. They're running a little farther apart than they were, but more or less.
So Kirkbride might have made a little bit of a bobble. He's dropped some time to Taylor. Perhaps a second and a half. Myers, after getting past Lemansky, he's checked out from him. Lemansky now in 9th, the last car on the lead lap. Parsons quickly closing up on him.
Yeah, and you might be pretty impressed with Kevin Miller. I am too, but I'm also pretty darn impressed with Greg Myers. I mean, he put that thing up there in 8th or 7th on the grid in qualifying, which is a great qualifying for Greg Myers. That's top shelf. And has carried that through to the race.
Oh, he gets run into by... Oh, looks like that was Kurt Chandler. Kurt let him pass, but... Greg back on it here, so... Mistake there from Chandler. Yep, now it's Houston all tucked up behind Moses here.
Such a difficult first corner.
Oh, big moment for Moses. Oh, might have been some contact there, wheel to wheel. Moses looking to defend, but it's going to be advantage Houston. And Moses just about throws it off, nearly, and hangs on to it.
Yeah,
sense the little anger there.
Yeah, Moses had to take some evasive action for sure. He's not going to be happy about that. But if you're John Houston, you might be thinking this could be his only possibility here in the next 22 laps of getting the job done. So in his mind, he's thinking, well, okay, here we go. I'm coming.
Kirkbride currently holding a fast lap of the race with a 28.4, and now is closed back up to Taylor. Taylor dealing with some lap traffic. That's what Kirkbride needs right now.
He does, and I tell you, that time too, Aaron Parsons
starting to shrink
from Matt Taylor. Ride machine getting a little bit bigger in Taylor's rearview mirrors, giving him some extra motivation at the moment. Great stuff by this top.
Yeah,
this is really difficult.
These three teams, I would say, you know, really separated themselves from the rest of the field. Parsons, Taylor, Kirkbride, Adams, Houston, Moses. Oh, we got a car well off there. That's Curtis.
I think there was contact. I think there's contact between him and Taylor. Taylor had to take massive avoiding action.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah, I don't know for sure if there was contact, but on board Kirkbride's machine, it sure looked like it. And
Kirkbride takes it off into the wall. Oh, he's got it fired back up. Wow, huge mistake.
Oh, that is such a. Oh, that's a bad feeling. Not that I would know.
That's what they got to minimize. Those types of mistakes.
Well, the wheel's still tracking pretty straight for him. He has another pit stop coming up.
Yeah, another 4.5 laps here. He'll be in for service. So, but that's dropped him well behind now Taylor and Adamson. So it's up to Adamson at this point to carry the torch. To see if he can get past Matt Taylor here in this. This last second half of the race.
Well, if you're Kirkbride, there's such a massive gap. They had pulled out such an advantage over 5th place that he probably won't get hurt at all by this. But so pretty fortunate there, really, it has to be said. Boy, Taylor's dropped straight off the pace here. I think Taylor probably did pick up some damage.
Yeah, he may have, but let's see what Adamson can do here. That gap now between Parsons, our leader, and Taylor is now 7.6 seconds. As Adamson now tries to eat away to Taylor's gap, and he looks like he's doing that. A little further back. He's Kirkbride, he's still going here. Houston has made that pass on Moses a couple laps ago. Moses just set his personal best lap of the race. But 30
yeah, I don't
flat.
think Moses is happy. I think he's a little extra motivated here to reclaim that 5th spot.
Miller has really fallen off here at the end of this. Here in this second stint, he is now must have made a mistake or something. He's fallen well behind Houston after they were running pretty close most of this first stint. Most of the first stint. So we got another car off here. Not sure who that is. Gap between Taylor now and Adamson under a second.
Yeah, and I really do think Matt Taylor probably has some front splitter damage, so he's going to be looking forward to his pit stop as well.
Yeah, you're right. He does have some damage to the front, so it looks like he did have some contact with Chandler. And that thing is all bent out of shape.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed he's still able to hold the pace that he is, really. So it'd be a lot more difficult if he damages at the rear.
Kirkbride now into the pits, pitting early.
Yeah, taking care of his damage from that off. Boy, he is going to be kicking himself. But once again, no damage really in terms of positions lost. But that is going to be a long 3rd stint for him. no doubt his tires are going to be pretty chewed by the end of this event.
Let's see where Kirkbride comes out. Looks like he's rejoined in 7th. Right on board with Adamson now, trying to chase down Matt Taylor. As Marty noses it into the wall.
Look, we're seeing some very good drivers who have put in quite a bit of practice mixing today. If you don't get your laps in and become very comfortable with what you're doing.
Ooh, Adamson might have lagged out here. He's gone. Oh no, he's back. Big lag situation there for Adamson. That was crazy.
I thought that was me for a second. I thought I was gone.
Went into the landscape.
But back to my point. Look, if you're everybody else who hasn't put in the amount of laps, you're not going to have a fit in these cars.
You're 100% correct. These cars are really are a handful, and you gotta put your work in. Taylor maintaining that gap over Adamson.
Yeah, if you're Matt Taylor right now, you're just thinking, okay, figure out a way to drive around the damage, get to the pit stop in 2nd place. That's priority number 1. You don't want to give up the position before your stop. Though you have to think he's going to suffer a little bit longer stop to repair the damage, right? But nonetheless, that's job number 1. Just get to the pits, still in 2nd place. Hit your last stop, get your last stint, see what happens.
Now approaching some more traffic up ahead. Adamson does get close here through some of these corners, but just by some of these straights. Window should be opening up here this next lap or 2. Some of these guys. Ooh, Adamson had a look on the inside going into the chicane. I had to lock him up. That was some close. That was pretty close there, Brian.
It really was. Yeah. It's. I don't know if it was the. Okay, so Taylor's in.
Adamson now, he's stayed out, dealing with some lap traffic. That's by Traskell.
Yeah, it won't be as difficult. It won't be as difficult for Myers to get, for Adamson to get by Myers. It's be a much easier pass.
Taylor hangs on to that 3rd position. Exit in the pit lane. This isn't going to help Adamson being stuck behind these this lap traffic here. It's a clear track. Meanwhile, Taylor comes out with nobody around him, so he's going to have to lay down a really fast lap here to move on to that.
Yeah,
lead over Adamson.
Yeah, the question is, what was the pit stop time for Taylor? I mean, we assume he had a little bit of damage. We assume he's going to go ahead and elect to fix it. And what will that do? We assume Adamson in this time or certainly the next. Ooh, almost takes it too deep.
So Adamson into the pits. Should be a shorter stop here, taking less fuel than Taylor did.
Boy, and Parsons has taken it pretty long this stint.
Oh yeah, he has stayed out, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Adamson's still boxed here, not has yet to exit. Where's Taylor? Taylor goes past, takes over the second spot.
Yeah. Yeah, so that lap traffic, I think you're right, Al, really did hurt Adamson in the end. And boy, look at that, John Houston. Well, Houston has yet to make a second stop.
Yeah, so Taylor comes out with 4 seconds in hand over Adamson.
So Adamson's going to have to claw back all the ground that he he was 4 seconds back after the first stop, 4 seconds back after the second stop. So here we go. Now it's all up to Parsons, who is in right now.
Leader is in.
Boy, a lot of attrition this race.
Yeah, Chuck Carter out. The last guy. Right now, 16 runners. As Taylor has come up on some lap traffic also. So Taylor's going to, he gets by okay. Parsons already exited the pit lane, so he's going to come out well ahead of Matt Taylor. Now just going around the final corner.
That gap was about 10 seconds or so. Looks like it has gone out a little bit.
Yep, about 11 and a half. Parsons over Matt Taylor. Now Adamson has lost some time here. He is about 5 seconds off of Taylor. Adamson finishing 4th last weekend at Lagos. Well on his way to a podium here as Moses and Houston are in the pits. Let's see where these guys come out. Houston away. Oh yeah, he's going to beat Moses out by a bunch.
Yeah, that gap.
Kirkbride gets past Moses now, so Moses drops down to 7th.
Oh! Oh no! What happened there?
Interesting. So Moses now, last car on the lead lap. We got another Ferrari off. Tough night for the Ferraris here tonight. Or the Ferrari livery blows. So working lap 33 of scheduled 46 laps here tonight. Parsons leading by 10 seconds over Matt Taylor in second. Taylor with 6 seconds up over Andrew Adamson in third. This gap was only a couple seconds after the pits, but something went awry for Adamson, who's lost some time. Wow, Kevin Miller has jumped up to 4th, Brad, as he dives into the pits. I was just going to say. Houston's going to beat him out of the pits. Kirkbride should get him as well. Kirkbride's going to have Houston in his sights.
Yeah.
Here. He already has him in his sights, so we'll have to. It's going to be an interesting fight to watch here as this race closes down. Moses now gets by Kevin Miller. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was thinking the very same thing. So if you look at it from a point situation, it's really that Parsons and 4th place John Houston who really have the most to gain here right now, running 1st and 4th. So this is an important spot for Houston to hang on to in that 4th spot. The gap is, what do you see?
Big spin from Phoebes on the straight coming out of the final corner, trying to reel in Trask.
So 5 seconds, Kirkbride to Houston. You figure Kirkbride has a little bit of pace on Houston, but 12 laps, so you need, just a little less than a half-second lap.
Kirkbride best lap 28.4, which is a second quicker than Houston's personal best of a 29.4. So expect Kirkbride to start reeling in Houston here pretty quickly.
Yeah, he might. The only thing is, you know, catching and then passing, of course, but it's made doubly difficult, really, with this car, and just how prone one is to just, you know, 1% on the throttle and a correction. You know, it cost you 0.3 of a second coming off one corner right there. So
look at that gap. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So I'm just saying, let's not lock these positions in just yet.
Keeping an eye on that gap between Taylor and Parsons. It was over 11 seconds. Now it's 7 and change here, Greg. As Taylor is pushing hard.
I noticed that as well, and you wonder what if, you know, lap traffic's coming into play a little bit there or something. Also.
Clear. You got Traskell up ahead, but Parsons cleared him pretty easily. So.
Well, shoot. I mean, you'd think that the lap traffic would be pretty cleared out by now, right?
So last week we had, what was it, 4 guys finish on the lead lap here. Last week at Interlagos, 4 guys on the lead lap. You got Kevin Miller on the verge of being put a lap down by Parsons. He's running in 7th presently. No doubt a lot of mistakes out on track by some of these guys, resulting in some off-track excursions and whatnot, resulting in that. But Elwood Traskell's out.
Still inching down a little bit, Parsons to Taylor, huh? Yeah, that almost, here as this has gone on a couple, 3 laps, that kind of is an indication of maybe some damage on the Parsons machine.
Let's have a look. It seems pretty, it's pretty clean from my perspective.
It does, doesn't it?
Maybe just managing that pace right now. Taking it to the end here. Last lap was a 30 flat to Taylor's 29.4. I think if Parsons needs to start pushing, he can.
Yeah, you might be right.
A little further back, we got Brian Story. This guy's 2 laps down. Trying to make his way past Ryan Robbins. This is for 12th.
Well, these would be some nice points for these guys, really. So, I mean, shoot, even if you're Marty Eiran, I mean, look, it's he obviously didn't get enough practice in this race, Marty Eiran, but I mean, you know, there's some decent points on offer there, even in 14th place.
Kirkbride starting to really close in on Houston. He was within a couple seconds, but I think got hung up a bit by some lap traffic. That gap is really shrinking.
Yeah, and if you're John Houston right now, you really got to be thinking, look, guy's gonna catch me. So how do I just manage my time loss? Make sure I don't do anything to cost myself massive chunks of time. Just minimize the mistakes as much as possible, and try to stay out as long as I possibly can, because the other guy can make a mistake easily. Kirkbride, he's the one the onus is on him to catch up, right? Look, for John Houston right now, just keep it very clean, very consistent, minimize that time.
The other guy who's flying, actually, is Adamson, he's closed up that gap to Matt Taylor. It was up over around 8-9 seconds. Now it's down to under 5. Adamson to Taylor.
Yeah, so
about 2 seconds now separating Kirkbride and Houston.
So maybe coming back together a little bit, and I don't know. I mean, if you're Aaron Parsons, I don't think you want the time to run, too much closer between yourself and Taylor at this point. I mean,
wow, it's 3 seconds.
It's possible.
I think Taylor is happy to see that. Adamson now sets fast lap of the race with a 28.1. He's flying.
Yeah, I think he decided to let loose with the turbo a little bit. I mean, he must have held some in reserve and go, okay, well, for this next series of laps, I'm going to go ahead and hit the button and see what I can't do. And I think that's what's going on.
Oh, some interest. Oh, Kirkbride just had another mistake through the chicane. That's exactly what Houston wanted to see. That's going to give him some breathing room.
Yeah, that is it, man. If you're Houston, you're giving up time, just hang out there, just survive as long as you possibly can, because something like that might happen. And boy, Moses not too far behind if Kirkbride has picked up some damage. I didn't see it.
No, I think he kept it off the wall, but just took it into the gravel, but he is back on the way. Moses now, Miller's been put a lap down. Moses now the last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Myers would sure like to see Moses go a lap down here. I'm sure. Look at long term at that competition index.
So you get Adamson now 27.9.
Yeah, that is some turbo. That is some turbo action there for Adamson. He's got a little bit left, I guess.
Taylor's got some lap traffic just ahead. Help Adamson here at this closing stage. Gap to Parsons now just about 6 seconds. Adamson gets it wrong. Easy on the throttle here for Andrew. That's could be it here, Brad. With 7 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely time to put that boost back down to 70%.
Some contact now with one of the lap cars, the Ferrari. That's been a tough night for Kirk. So that's
been a horrible night.
Yep. So now 6 seconds separating Taylor and Adamson. So let's see. So I'm guessing that Adamson's been on the turbo quite a bit here in this final stint. How much does he have left in the tank? You saw what happened to his teammate last week.
Yeah, right. Well, I think it's just time to back that off into the safe range on the turbo and finish this one off. I mean, a podium with this difficult of a track, and another mistake for Adamson. It's time just to finish this thing. Taylor continues to close up ground, and I guess he may be on the turbo. Maybe that's why he has eked into that Parsons time a little bit, huh?
Yeah, good point. He's talking to John Luton, the guy, resident developer of the broadcast app we're using here tonight. He inquired about the turbo indicator, but I think that there's an option available for us to see. It would be nice if we could tell who is doing what with the turbo.
That'd be awesome.
Moses now. Just 3 seconds behind Kirkbride. His car is looking pretty good. I don't think he has any damage.
No, right now, I think the damage is mental. So he's trying to repair the mental faculties here to close out this race. It's been a challenge for all of these guys, and I think he is suffering a bit of concentration fatigue.
Last lap,
but you think
a 32 flat.
Yeah, and a couple of 30-somethings thrown in there as well. And I tell you, one guy who will only get stronger mentally is Chris Moses, especially when he sees those gaps come down. But I think Kirkbride should be okay here, assuming the car is not damaged.
Yeah, he's cleared the lap car of, I believe that's Lemansky. Yeah, we should see Kirkbride start to pull away here from Moses. Moses saddled with that success ballast there, running in the 6th position. 20 kilograms of ballast, but really, you've got Parsons leading with 15 kilograms of ballast, and Taylor in second with 10. Weight not having as big of an impact as we thought it would.
You could be right. Yeah, you could be right, and we'll just see as the season progresses how that holds true week to week. But yeah, well, let's see. Parsons, he has the win, so assuming he finishes in first, he's going to be having quite a bit more weight strapped to that machine next week, won't he?
Yeah, that'll be a true indicator there. If he were to finish tonight, he'd be carrying 35 kilograms of ballast next week at Imola.
But I think overall, if you're Moses, you can't be too unhappy, really. Yeah, okay. He could have maybe had one position. He got balked there by Houston a little bit there going into 2, but I gotta be honest with you, I was kind of glad to see Houston force the issue there a little bit. That's something we haven't necessarily seen from Houston in the past. He's been pretty darn conservative, and yeah, got it a little wrong, slid the front a little bit, made a little contact, but I don't know. I think I kind of like seeing that from John Houston.
Yeah, it's going to be a good result here for Houston if he can finish where he is currently in 4th. He's nearly a minute behind Adamson. He's got 6-second lead over Kirkbride in 5th. Moses now, slipping away a little bit, slipping behind Kirkbride. Gap now nearly 5 seconds. So back out front here, our leader, Eiran Parsons, just joining us. Matt Taylor with
Oh, wait, what happened here with Adamson and Houston? Are they running together on track? No.
No.
Oh, I just saw the 11s. Oops. About 60 seconds off. Sorry, Al.
So Parsons, Taylor, like I said, dominating pole by getting pole by nearly 0.8 of a second over, I believe it was Eiran Parsons in second. Oh, I'm sorry, it was Adamson in second, I believe. Really a titanic back and forth between the top 4 for the entire first stint. But a Mistake from Taylor opened the door for Parsons there in that first stint. That was all she wrote. Still,
and you called that at the time.
Still got a couple laps left here.
Yeah, you called it at the time, and I'm like, well, it's pretty early to be calling that shot, but in the end, it looks like you might be proven right. That was the opening that Parsons needed. I have to say, actually, I was pretty impressed because Adamson and Kirkbride were showing tremendous pace. I didn't think Taylor. I mean, it didn't look like he was going to have a chance to recover here for second on the podium, but nonetheless. It was mistakes really by Adamson and Kirkbride, particularly on those pit stops, that allowed Taylor to slip back through. So narrow escape for Matt Taylor.
And both Adamson and Kirkbride taking it off track, exiting, going into turn 1 after their first stop. Both of them did the same exact thing as Parsons now sets his personal best of a 27.9.
He's been laying off the turbo this whole time.
Adamson
like, okay,
now.
2 laps to go.
Adamson now sets fast lap again. So he's got Taylor now within a couple seconds here. It's going to be a dash for the cash here at the end for that second place. Taylor has slipped off slipped a bit here. He's now 9 seconds off the leader.
I think he was caught a little unawares. Parsons, he's just showing off, and hopefully it won't bite him. That's the reason why you see the gap open up first to second. But Taylor, I think he's just cruising around waiting for second, and all of a sudden Adamson's got some turbo left.
Yeah, we saw what happened to Moses last week. Nearly through. Oh, Adamson! Oh, he was very fortunate to keep that off the wall. Wow, that could have been a. He's got plenty of time up on Houston, so he'll hang on to that third spot. But you take these cars off into the grass, it is very hard to put the throttle down once you get back on track. Be very careful. Well. Looks like Taylor's going to take home the cash. There's Adamson with a vicious off. Wow. That thing just snapped around him. Snapped on him so quickly.
And we have Monaco to look forward to here in a week or two?
Yeah, a couple.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Yep. It might just be you and I left in that one. As Parsons now coming around. This is the final lap of the race. Aaron Parsons. After that first stop, it was all she wrote. He drove off. Really maintained a nice gap to the guys. Marty. He's done. Maintained a nice gap over the guys behind him. It's good to answer the bell here as Parsons going to win round 2. Ooh, is Kirkbride's the other way on track. And Parsons takes the win here at Jerez. Matt Taylor's going to take second. Adamson. And Moses actually comes Kirkbride with a DNF here. He's going to finish in 6th, but Kirkbride finishing in 3rd. Final step on the podium, John Houston. Making his way around.
Let's see if he can make the last few final corners.
I know. Any unforeseen drama here. He should finish in 4th. He does have 6 seconds up on Chris Moses.
So just put in the clutch, and just however slow you have to go behind Ryan, just hang right back there. There you go.
Looks like Rick Myers got his lap back, as did Kevin Miller. So Houston finishes 4th. Chris Moses is going to come home in 5th. I think Myers is done. I think Miller might be done too.
Cool down laps.
Yep, cool down lap. So that's going to do it. Eiran Parsons with the big win here. Let's see if we can drag him in and talk us through this event here tonight. Great race. Eiran Parsons, do you copy?
I do well.
Wow, congratulations on a big win here tonight. Were you expecting that?
No, not really.
I didn't think so. I mean, looking at Taylor's qualifying pace was pretty astounding as he, with his lap time there. We were thinking in the booth here that it was just going to be Taylor's night, but early in that first stint, made that mistake, opened the door for you. You got past him. Had a great battle there with Kirkbride and Adamson all the way through that first stint. Taylor's off, you got by. And then, man, it was all she wrote from there. You had to maintain a nice gap there the second and final stint. Were you a little surprised to see them not able to gain any ground on you, or what?
There's not too much thinking you can do about your competitors in this car, especially in this track. Just incredible mental concentration required to keep the car under control. So yeah, just there's not much you can do with your competitors except if they're directly in front of you or directly behind you. You can think about battling them. The first stint, I really leant on the turbo quite a bit to try and get past Adamson. That worked out. The car was really hooked up in race trim, but absolute nightmare in quality trim.
Yeah, it was interesting because it did look like there were some guys that had a good qualification setup, but it didn't seem necessarily that it just kind of seemed happenstance, kind of random. And obviously it kind of really seemed that way to me with Matt Taylor, that he happened to take the fuel off, put the tires on, and the car just seemed to go. But you're absolutely right, and I noted several times how just very difficult this race was, and we saw a few guys mentally, I think, struggle there towards the end. It was a race about survival, and congratulations on your win, but how do you approach an event like this? You know how difficult it's going to be, so what's the mindset going in and then capping off a win like that?
Lots of coffee to start with. Get yourself mentally psyched up, and just really concentrate. It's mentally exhausting. I'm pretty shattered at the moment. It's just pure concentration. Can't think about anything else. Can't think about strategy too much. Can't think about your competitors too much. Just focus on every corner as it comes.
So, Eiran, we're heading into round 3 next week at Imola. You carried 15 kilograms of ballast in the car tonight. Obviously going to be carrying some more weight next week, but were you at all feeling the effects of that added weight there through your at any point during the race, or like near the end of your stance? Were you struggling a bit, or was the car pretty good?
In race trim, the car was really good. We had some combined effort from myself and John. John set me back to the setup last night, and that was really good. The aero and gearing is incredibly important on this car. But I didn't really notice the ballast. The car's just such a beast, so much grip, so much power. And it's hard to notice that weight, I think.
Well, it was a pretty impressive run and pretty amazing racing there in that first stint, so it was great to see. But you know, congratulations, and on to Imola, like I said, next week. And man, it's going to be a tough run around that place with that weight. But if anybody can pull it off, pretty sure you can put a nice solid run together with that weight. So good luck next week, and again, great run here tonight.
Thanks, guys.
All right, well, hey, there you have it, Brad. Eiran Parsons, a big winner here tonight at Jerez. That first stint was really fantastic, I got to admit, but second stint, the mistakes cost those guys and really cleared the way there for Parsons to win this race.
Yeah, I'll be shocked at the L. I was absolutely shocked how well those top four were running and running so close to each other. And you heard it from Parsons, just the difficulty that they were having driving on track with some speed, let alone driving so close to each other. So that was really amazing stuff. And it's a real shot in the arm here for that T-Brock Dam Bam squad. Eiran Parsons coming home the winner, and John Houston, of course, in fourth. That is a big lift for those guys over rival PMR, Chris Moses and Matt Taylor, who did cap off that nice finish in second. But nonetheless, very interesting stuff here from Jerez, and I think we'll look back on this, and I think we'll consider it one of the toughest events that we will probably have this season. So it was really well done by all of our finishers tonight. Saw some attrition, but a little easier track, though not easy, but easier next week there at Imola. Should see a bit less attrition out there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. So hopefully we'll be back. We will be back next Monday night from Imola. Hopefully you guys can tune in. It's starting at 9 p.m. Eastern for that race, round 3. Until then, we're going to be at Laguna Seca this Thursday night for our GT race there. First ever running at Laguna, so it should be a good run. Jake Feemster and Jack Ivey will have the call of that race for you guys. So, but until next week, that's all from us here at Jerez. Thank you, Brad, and thanks everybody who tuned in. We'll see you all next week.